Have you ever encountered an animal that has bright white fur and light pink eyes? Chances are you saw an animal with a genetic condition known as albinism. In this video, I will be talking about what albinism is, what causes it, and how it appears in humans, animals, and plants. I will also be discussing two other conditions that develop in similar ways. Albinism is defined by a drastic decrease or lack of pigmentation in the skin, eyes, hair, and/or fur. It is a recessive gene mutation that decreases the amount of melanin in the body. Some symptoms of albinism include little to no pigmentation in hair coloring, skin coloring, poor eyesight, and very light blue or translucent irises, which cause the eyes to look red or pink. This is because of the retinal tissue lining the back of the eyes being visible. This can cause issues with vision, including difficulties with focusing and depth perception. Although there are no cures for albinism, there are ways to treat it. This includes wearing sunglasses to protect eyes from the sun, sunscreen to protect skin, and glasses to help with any vision impairments. Since albinism is a recessive gene, both parents must carry the gene for their children to inherit it. Despite it being so rare, albinism is found all over the world. It is estimated that in North America and Europe, every 1 in 20,000 people have some form of albinism. In sub-Saharan Africa, it affects 1 in every 1,400 people. Albinism not only happens in humans, but animals too. Reptiles, birds, and amphibians are the most common animals to inherit albinism, although they can happen in every animal. Albino animals in the wild typically do not live long, since their bright white coloring makes them an easy target for predators. However, a small town in southern Illinois has made an effort to protect albino squirrels in their area. There, the squirrels are protected by law, and you can be fined up to $750 for killing them. Some states also protect albino deer, where it is illegal to shoot and kill them. Just like animals and humans, plants can also have albinism, but instead of having no melanin, plants with albinism develop with no chlorophyll. Without chlorophyll, the plant has no way to make the food needed for its survival and growth. There is only one type of albino plant that has been known to survive into adulthood, the redwood tree. They survive by attaching to the roots of a parent tree and absorbing the nutrients they need. Albinism isn't the only mutation that causes a decrease in pigmentation. Leucism is the partial loss of pigmentation in the body. Leucism is developed during the early stages of embryonic development and can influence the central nervous system. This can cause some animals with leucism to have sight and hearing problems. Like albinism, this condition is recessive, which means that both parents must carry the gene for there to be a chance that the child will develop it. Although albinism and leucism may look very similar in some cases, they have many differences. For example, leucism cannot happen in people. This is because humans only have one type of pigment cell in their skin, melanophores, and multiple types of pigment cells are required for leucism to develop. Vitiligo looks similar to leucism and is present in humans, but there are some key differences between the two as well. Leucism is present at birth, while vitiligo typically isn't. Vitiligo also tends to spread throughout the body over time, while leucism always stays consistent. One way to tell if an animal has albinism or leucism is the eyes. Albinism will cause the eyes to be a pink or grayish-blue color due to the blood vessels being visible. Leucism will cause the eyes to be their normal color. Leucism also typically appears in patches on the body, while albinism is present throughout the entire body. Finally, I would like to go over melanism. Melanism is pretty much the opposite of albinism. It's an overproduction of melanin in the body, which causes the animal to be completely dark. Like leucism, melanism cannot occur in humans, only animals. Some species develop melanism over time with camouflage. For example, many peppered moths have melanism and have high survival rates because they blend in with their environment better. As more peppered moths with melanism survive and pass on their genes, melanism spreads throughout the population. This is known as industrial melanism. Thank you for listening to my video. I had so much fun working on it. Here are some close-ups of both my sculptures, my raccoon with albinism and my bat with leucism. I hope that you learned something new about these conditions, and I hope that you enjoy.